Welcome back to Talk Horror to Me, the only movie review horror podcast that gets all their Christmas shopping done in June. With that said, before we bring in Carly, Ashley, and the green screen version of Brooke, let's see what we're checking out tonight. Tonight, we review Krampus, a 2015 Christmas horror comedy film based on the eponymous character from Austro-Bavarian folklore. Directed by Michael Dougherty, who co-wrote the film with Todd Casey and Zach Shields. The film stars Adam Scott, Toni Collette, and Emjay Anthony. In Krampus, when a dysfunctional family squabbling causes young Max to lose their festive spirit, it unleashes the wrath of the ancient demon Krampus warned of in European folklore. As Krampus lays siege to the Engel home, Mom, Pop, sister, and brother must band together to save one another from a monstrous fate. They do. Yeah, they do. Who picked this monstrosity?
I do. And if you all remember, it was so on the fly.
It was.
But it was beautiful.
And so just FYI, do not adjust your television or your horizontal or your vertical. Yes, it is true. Brooke has been swallowed by the blob. And she's coming to us from inside the jello.
Does it smell like lemon in there? Because I feel like it would. I feel like it's a trick. It doesn't smell like lime. It's actually lemon.
I think that's what gets you. But Ashley, who do you want to start the festivities?
Oh, Carly, I choose you.
Oh, okay. I had a blast watching this film. I knew from the moment, I was telling Chuck this, from the moment that they were showing the true spirit of Christmas in the opening credits, I was like, this one's going to be spot on. And the humor was there. I love the grandmother. Love the grandmother. And the kids did a fantastic job. Being either their good selves or their evil selves, they did really well. It was casted fantastically, and I wasn't scared, but I was entertained. The whole movie, I was entertained, and that was fantastic. I loved it.
Right.
Who's next?
Tell us, Carly, who's next?
Huh?
You take the next one.
Well, then fine, you are.
This is my review of this film. It is, what do you get when you cross Gremlins, Storm of the Century, Five Nights at Freddy's, Puppet Master, and Christmas Vacation? You get this freaking awesome movie. I mean, I can't tell you how much, again, I totally agree with Carly, the most wonderful time of the year sequence at the beginning, everybody rushing in and knocking people over for Black Friday, whatever day it was. Fantastic. The pure curse of capitalism and a holiday. Definitely like leads you right into, that's why there was no Christmas spirit. That's why we are the way we are. This poor little kid is desperate to beat down everybody who opposes the belief in Santa Claus. I loved it. Like you said, I thought it was fun. But it didn't take itself too seriously.
No, it didn't.
But yet it was like perfectly done. I mean, we got Adam Scott, Toni Collette. These are not just like, C-list, D-list actors. And like I said, the kid casting was amazing. I think it's David Koechner. I forget how it says Kohler. The Uncle Howard. He was amazing. And I just thought, like, once it got deep into it and like, the gingerbread people were coming to life, and the toys in the attic. I mean, I can't even tell you, the toys in the attic sequence was freaking off the chain. So I loved it. But with that said, I want to know how much Brooke loved it. Go ahead, green screen.
I loved it a lot. I liked the folklore history behind it. That's what made it for me, was how the grandmother was telling the story of how he left her and all that. I like that. That's fun.
Yeah, and I love the stop action, kind of like that Tim Burton kind of motif, the way they did it. But it was like part Tim Burton and part like cutouts. So I thought, I love how they kind of threw that back as like a Christmas homage. So I thought that was awesome. But Ashley, keeper of the Krampus.
I love this. I had never seen Krampus before. I thought that I had, but no, I've never seen this film. And like Carly, I was having so much fun through the entire movie. Just every scene where someone was taken was so beautiful. But yeah, no, yeah.
I'm not sure I would call it beautiful, but it was
so beautiful. It was so well done. I actually had anxiety through some of them, like the sister, major anxiety during that scene.
Yeah.
So I was like, the fact that I'm having fun, but I'm anxious is like amazing.
And like I said, like Gremlins, it was a comedy. It's supposed to be very PG, but yeah, it had such a tension to it. And even going outside, or actually, let me take that back. When forget the kid's name, but when he looks out the window and their first creepy snowman's out there, Max, it's like that was like, whoa, that was like setting the tone for like this isn't just like some schlocky horror. I mean, it really, a lot of it was really all set up in tension building. And then, of course, having people over the holidays is probably the most scary thing ever anyway. So
that scene with the snowman kind of made me mad for a little bit. It sucked me out of the movie for just a second because it's like, hey, there's this creepy snowman that's just popped up outside. This is like the first paranormal type thing that's happening. Creepy snowman's just appeared outside. No one knows who built it. And everyone's like, oh, well, for the longest time, no one acknowledges the snowman again, but it does come back into play. So they redeemed themselves very fast. But
I mean, I can make a case for why nobody cared because, again, in all tropes, nobody ever believes the kid about anything. That's typical.
True.
And two, I think the parents were a little too much worried about the people they had over. And I think at that point, I think the power had been out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So
Omni knew from the beginning. She
of
was
course.
I will say this was team abandonment. Like those family members had no problem being like,
bye.
I mean,
they're gone. So.
what are we really gonna do? We've got 4 other kids to protect here. I mean,
right. Wait, we're not going to go find sister? I mean, at least the mom tried a couple times. She stated she wanted to go find the daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, there's kids at the house. We got to protect them."
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a problem with Omi because if she's lived through this, yes. Because if she lived through this when she was a child and she knew her entire village was decimated, she couldn't stay awake long enough to keep that fire stoked. I blame her. That we could not get to Christmas morning.
Yeah,
That's
she did.
rude.
She did know.
She knew, and then she's sleeping like everybody else. I know you old, but damn.
Yeah,
It was cute though. I do love Omi, but also she could have prevented this from I'm glad she didn't because we had a movie. But in the very beginning, she could have had more of a heart-to-heart with the grandson, the severity of the situation here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she wasn't doing anybody any favors by like downplaying the situation. I mean, you're in basically a bubble of storm where there's no power, no people, and yet that seems to be normal for everybody. Come on, Omi.
That was fantastic.
Get back to the kitchen, make some cookies. Let's go.
Yeah. Or some hot chocolate. Everything's better with hot chocolate.
It was so weird. Toni Collette was like, "Oh my God, my mom knows how to do something without electricity." She was like, seemed to be blown away by the fact that you can still make hot chocolate over a fire.
They kept saying, get her out of there, like before she sets the house on fire. Like this is just some elderly woman who's just out of her mind, bonkers, doesn't know what's going on. But in the whole film, she's like functioning.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that part. It's like, is it just because she speaks Russian that everyone's like, oh,
I think the fact that she was like mostly spoke German, that like she didn't really connect as well with the daughter-in-law. I mean, because Adam Scott spoke German back to her, but even he was like, "Come on, come on, Mom, it's okay. Go over here, sit here. Watch the dog for us. Just kind of put her off into the
let's go
corner.
take a nap, Grandma. That's like the vibe that I got the whole time. I was like,
so that goes to show you that just how dysfunctional the entire family was. It wasn't just Adam Scott and Toni Collette, like, oh, we have to endure my sister and her family. It really was every one of them had a bunch of dysfunction, even the sister, even Max.
And
so it wasn't like they were angels either. So what's that, Carly?
And the aunt.
Oh my gosh, I love her so much. So the moment she walked through the door, I was like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many times she probably has her IMDb page must have like 100 films because she's been in everything for decades. So yeah, I love her. Actually, I saw her on a off-Broadway show, actually, which was pretty cool. Yeah, neat. Back in Detroit, the Fox Theater. So that was very
That is awesome. Yeah. I just love her. I adore her. I
do too. But you know what else I adore? I like when we find out what you like is her favorite kill. Now I know we just lost Brooke. She's coming in and out, so we'll save her for last. So actually, well, she's back now. So, what was your favorite kill and/or abduction or whatever?
Mine was when we first seen Krampus when he was jumping on the roofs. That was my favorite part. Like, he's real big, and she like looked up and saw him in the shadow, and that scared me. That part did scare me, but that was my favorite part.
All right.
It was so beautifully done too, because it was just the silhouette, and I loved it.
Yeah, and it really added to the creepiness. But you know what else adds to the creepiness? Carly?
Well, I tell you what, give me a nail gun.
Oh. I mean, for any home repairs, there's nothing better than the combination of gingerbread men, freshly baked, and a nail gun. Which, those nail guns don't have that kind of, power. But we always see it in so many of these films where somehow they end up flying you through the air like 20 feet. But I get it. My favorite is going to be, favorite moment is when Krampus does finally rip open the mantle over the fireplace and makes his first hooved steps into the house. I thought that was epic when the grandma's there, Omi's there, and the face off. For some reason I felt that like the roof hopping is that first real sight of what this creature is, which I thought was epic. Now I will have problems. We will speak to it later about the same creature design, but we'll say that for later. So I want to know, Ashley, what your favorite moment was.
See, I am so on point with all of you, but a different scene. But it's like we're all incorporated here. I love it. It's the chimney scene with the gingerbread and the little boy.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so adorable. Yes.
That was very Willy Wonka, if you think about it.
Yeah. And I loved Willy Wonka too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, going up the tube. I mean, it was very much in essence of that. But yeah, when the shoe comes down and hits the father on the head, I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, that whole scene with them grabbing each other by the leg and trying to pull everybody back out the chimney was pretty scary. Even for a PG-13, whatever this was, it definitely had a lot of gravity to it. So I love that.
I wasn't thinking magic wise either. I was thinking realistically. So realistically, what would happen if a very strong force was to pull someone out of a chimney?
Oh, he would be squashed. He'd be squashified. I mean, but we have heard stories of parents dressed as Santa Claus trying to go down chimneys. Yeah, and they get stuck. So there is a possibility that kid could have been pulled out completely.
There we go. Okay.
But he was a chubby, but he was a kid that was meant to be the biggest linebacker in the high school. Once Dad got done with him, down in Mountain Dew like it's water. I want to go back to
says hello.
Hey, Shirley, what's up, Shirley? Let's put her on screen there. Hello. So I want to talk about the creature design because I loved it 90% and I hated it 10%. with all the chains and the baubles and the bells and the horns, the robe, everything with the eyes, very goat-like eyes, sideways, by the way, very amazing. But yet his mouth never moves. He's in a perpetual state of. And I felt that if they had given some like puppetry movement to that, because all these other puppets that they had going, the bear and the angel, had a lot of articulation, whereas it seemed like poor Krampus had a one-size-fits-all, this is how he looks to the world, like he had bad Botox. Always just looking the same. And I was kind of disappointed in that, like when he was talking to Max, he was like, no, take me. And it was constantly just that frozen mouth. I thought it could have been like he could have like drooled, or he could have like chopped his teeth or something. But it almost seemed like it was a Christmas mask, like those old style Christmas masks of the like 50s versus like a real creature. So
he looked like a tree to me. That's like he had the face of a tree. That's like with the mouth, the way that it was gaped open and everything. It just reminded me of those Halloween spooky trees,
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if that was by design, but I think for me, if they had added just, a week's more work into the articulation of the face, even if they could have put like hands in there to make some movement, I think it would have made him even more imposing and scary to me versus just his frozen gaping roar or gasp or whatever he was supposed to be doing. So like I said, other than that, if you talk about things that take you out of the film, that was really the only thing that really took me out.
To animate like a little like candy cane tongue. Just see if that just adds a little bit of.
Well, he did have a tongue though. He did like bring his tongue out on Omi.
Oh yeah.
So he had that, but still, mouth is the same no matter what. Candy canes, tongues, candy bars, all looks the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but like I said, I've never seen this film like you, and I was like, man, I would actually watch this a few times because.
I definitely
put it on the Christmas list.
Yes.
Yeah, I told my husband because he didn't watch it with me, and we were even looking for Christmas horror movies to kind of binge through, which anyone else who's looking, Rotten Tomatoes has a list up of all the Christmas horror movies.
Okay.
There's a few of them that look pretty good, but he refused. He was like, no, this one looks too cheesy for me. And it's like, it was cheesy, but
it meant to be.
Yes, in the best way possible. It didn't take away from it. It added to it. And that's how you want your cheese.
Yeah, I mean, look at the old films. Look at Gremlins. Look at Puppet Master. Yeah. Look at these old ones that Gremlins is enduring, and it was very much a puppetry movie with this little thing that didn't look real at all. So, yeah, sometimes it works perfectly, and in this case, I think it did. Whereas other times, I can understand how Mr. Man might be like, nah, pass.
Yeah, I'm never gonna let him live it down. Like if you are an aunt or an uncle, this is definitely an aunt and uncle movie that you would play if you got stuck with your nephews and nieces during the holidays.
Yeah,
hands down, 100%.
I hear you. I have one question though. Where did they get all the wood to board up the windows?
Yeah.
I mean, where did
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden they have all this random wood. I'm like, where did you find all that? We know there was a nail gun. Obviously, that was in play, in use later on. But
maybe that was part of the gifts. Rich people do just get free gifts.
That's true. They get all the good stuff. That is very, very true. And with that, you know what time? Oh, we lost her again. I'm sorry. Brooke!
Krampus took her.
I'm here.
She's here.
It show me for a little bit, and then it'll go back to the pink screen.
I mean, I swear, Carly is not messing with you. She's not doing anything to keep you off air. I'm just saying. But with that, what I really want to know is we got to rate this thing. So, Ashley, you have to determine who is going to rate this thing first.
Brooke, I'm afraid Krampus is going to take you again any second.
Okay, so I rated a 4.5 gingerbread cookies.
Nice.
All right.
Well, Carly, what about you?
I would say a solid 4.8 They must be Democrats.
Oh, I guess. That's fantastic. I'm sorry. I'm also trying to keep up with Shirley's comments. For me, let me look at my list because we already said hot chocolate makes everything better. So I don't want to use that. Let's see. I would say I'm gonna lower it a little. You guys are very generous. Must be the Christmas season. For me, I'll give it a 4.25 just because I did love it. But I'm getting 4.25. Hey, I'm sorry. I thought you were a spineless dick all these years.
That's good. That's good. I am going to be extremely generous to this film because this, as far as Christmas horror movies goes, this was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. But if we were comparing it to all other horror movies, I would probably go a little bit lower. But for this being a Christmas one, I'm going to give it 5 stars.
Woo!
No, not stars. We don't do that here.
No, we don't.
Oh, no, I forgot what I was going to say too.
That's why I write them down.
I should write them down. You can never trust my brain. Jiminy crickets. Okay, 5. You brought a gun to Christmas?
And I did love when Uncle Howard was talking to Adam Scott, and he's like, "It's so heavy," and he's like, "Yeah, that's my wife's."
That one was funny.
I love that.
Why did they allow the daughter to just take off in a blizzard?
Because that was before things like were really getting shitty. I mean, that was just when the power was out and there's a storm. Not that anything, supernatural and creepy had happened yet. And I'm sure they were feeling for the daughter of like, yeah, we know you don't want to be here, so yes, go find your boyfriend. Now, on that note, what I don't think anybody talked about was the gingerbread man that was knifed to the refrigerator at Trevor's house.
Yeah.
And that was an early indicator that I hoped that she had possibly gotten away because somebody had stabbed that gingerbread man on the fridge. So that was an early indicator. Yeah. When they went through the open house and it was all like full of snow and everything was all strewn about, there was a gingerbread man with a knife smashed into the fridge.
I missed it. That's so cute.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. And it seemed so out of place at the time. And I'm like, okay, that's a weird thing, but now it makes complete sense.
Yeah. Oh, the gingerbread. I want little like stuffed animals of those gingerbread men.
I know, right?
Like
there with the faces.
Oh, they were so cute.
They were
so cute.
I would gobble them up.
And you would have
like what the dog did.
Yeah. And the dog came in handy for a minute. But what did you, before we like get toward the end of this, I have to ask because I love films like this that end up being hopeless.
Yeah.
I love these type of films. So I have to ask you all if you felt that the ending was kind of in line with what you were expecting, or the twist was like, oh shit, but okay, I love it. Like, how do you guys feel about the ending without giving it all away?
I liked it. I was relieved.
You were relieved?
Relieved?
I was relieved. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a trope that popped up that is like...
Oh, we talking about the Christmas Carol trope?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Which was cool because they introduced the trope as a red herring twice in the film. So then when we get to the end, we're all like, oh, find me the biggest goose in all the land. And then we realize that's a bunch of bullshit. So
well done, Chuck. Well done on no spoilers shall be had here.
So with that, I mean, but I gotta know. I mean, we're coming to the end. This is the end of 2023, y'all.
Yeah.
And we will be off, just as we said last week, we'll be off for Christmas because that's Christmas Eve on Sunday, and New Year's Eve will be the following. So we'll be back early in January 2024. So the real question is what are we going to watch next?
That's up to you.
Yep.
Why is it up to me? What did I do?
It's your pick.
It's your pick.
Oh, I'm so not prepared.
Oh.
I did actually have two films I was hoping to that are both on Netflix, but I want to save this next one. Hey, puppy dog. I want to save the next one because Carly's going to need some time to kind of decompress before she can watch a film of that magnitude and height. So we're going to go with Apostle, which is on Netflix. It's a 1905 period piece where a man goes onto this isolated island to find his sister, and all sorts of craziness ensues. So I have not seen it, so I'm very, very excited to see it. And kind of like Krampus, it was like such a delicious little surprise and gift to have at the end of the year. So thank you, Ashley, for that, because like you, I know Shelley says there's been several of these films, either short films or follow-ups, and now I'm interested to kind of be a completist to the Krampus universe to see what happens next. But yeah, I was, even though I've loved the idea of a Krampus movie, I think even Kevin Smith has done a Krampus movie or a story time of anthology piece. Ooh. So I know he was working on it. I don't know if it's done. But that being said, it's like, the idea of Krampus as this like kind of like opposite shadow of the spirit of Christmas, I think is fantastic. And it's what we all deserve.
It is. It is.
You give us 1 year of Krampus instead of Christmas, guarantee everybody's gonna be a lot nicer the next year. Whoever's left that
That's
is.
what we need. We need it. Where are you, Krampus? See, we need a new Christmas song, not Where Are You, Christmas? We need Where Are You, Krampus?
I've been bad and I have no spirit of Christmas. I think I'm going to say that for the off-Broadway play version, but you can start using that. Right away.
Broadway, call us.
Call us. Off Broadway, call us. We love everybody. First come, first serve.
Yes.
So I don't know what else to say. I mean, this was amazing. Again, Ashley, thank you so much for the Krampus. So, because it was perfect and we loved it. And we do wish all our lovely, lovely, lovely followers, happy holiday. Please be safe and enjoy your chosen families. And give them lots of love so you can get lots of love back. We give you our love. And to you ladies, I love you so much. Boom, heart.
Big heart. I hope you all have an awesome Christmas.
I'm doing it too.
Okay, thank you. We're getting green screen hearts all over from Brooke.
I feel the spirit
of Krampus.
I wish that they would make him just a little hotter. That would be.
Oh Lord!
I mean, I bet you if you took those robes off, he was probably ripped.
He had to be ripped. He had to. Yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's why we have the chains.
So with that, my lovely, lovely Mavens, have a lovely holiday. We'll see you next year. And with that said, I'm going to bid you adieu to you and you and you. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for spending time with us on Sunday evening. And remember, as always, we are here to scare you later. Bye.